Right, so welcome back to another video on this channel. Welcome back to another episode of my Premier League Game Week predictions. This weekend is of course Game Week 17, and not only that, it is also the first game week of the new year, the first Premier League games in 2021. So yeah, not only that as well, we actually do have a very good weekend in terms of the quality of matches, because we do have a lot of big matches this weekend to predict. But yeah, before I do get into that, I would quickly like to ask you guys to subscribe to the channel first and foremost, because we are now looking to hit 1,200 subscribers as soon as we possibly can. So if you could subscribe to the channel, that'd be very much appreciated, and yeah, of course it costs you absolutely nothing and makes my day. But yeah, without further ado now, let's get into predicting these Premier League Game Week 17 fixtures. Starting off at Goodison Park, Everton versus West Ham United. Now Everton's of course game against Man City that was supposed to be played during the week got called off, so obviously Everton will have a bit of a fitness advantage over West Ham, considering the fact they'll have more days off to rest for that game. West Ham did themselves during the week have a goalless draw against Southampton, but they do in fact have Mikel Antonio back from injury, which in my opinion is absolutely massive for them, because as I've said multiple times on this channel, I think Antonio is incredibly underrated and will be a massive player in this West Ham team once he does come back into the side. Everton do have Richarlison back for this game, which is very, very big because he's an absolutely quality player, as we all know, but they are still missing the likes of Lucas Digne, Alan and James Rodriguez, who are still three massive starters that are still missing. But yeah, overall I think this will be a very tight game between two teams that you know, have been massively improved from last season, and yeah, I think that Everton's form will carry over into this one. They've won their last 4 games. I think it will continue now, and I think it will be Everton 2, West Ham United 1, but yeah, it should be a very good game either way. Now to the next game, the one at Old Trafford on Friday night, Manchester United versus Aston Villa. Now are Manchester United in a title challenge, because you know, they got a win against Wolves during the week, a last minute winner from Marcus Rashford to obviously put them within range of Liverpool, who did of course draw with Newcastle during the week as well. Villa of course though on brilliant form themselves. I mean, they got a point against Stamford Bridge at Chelsea during the week, and they do have Tyrone Mings back for this game as well, which is big because him alongside Ezri Konsa have formed a very good centre-back partnership for Aston Villa this season. If I'm being perfectly honest, this is a really, really tough one to predict, because I think both sides are looking very, very strong this season. They both have quality players in and out of their squad, and yeah, overall I think this will be a draw, because yeah, as I said, two quality sides. I've gone for Manchester United 1, Aston Villa 1. I do feel like Manchester United, they are due a defeat, because they haven't lost obviously since that game against Arsenal on the 1st of November, but yeah, at the same time though, I think that Manchester United's impact with Bruno Fernandes is just too much, and that is why I think it levels each other out, and I've gone for a draw. Now we've got Tottenham versus Leeds at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, Mourinho versus Bielsa. Now let me just tell you, this is going to be a game. This is going to be an absolute thriller for goals, because on one hand you have the all guns blazing Leeds side who will attack from minute 0 to minute 90, and then you have the master of the counter-attacks in Mourinho and Spurs. So overall I think these two teams complement each other very, very well to set up for a very good match overall. Leeds have started to pick up some wins here and there now. Obviously they got a devastating win over West Brom during the week, 5-0 at the Hawthorns, and Spurs not so much. I mean, they haven't won in the last 3 games, so they will want to put things right against Leeds here. I think it will be definitely high scoring, and simply because of the fact that Leeds are missing their 3 main centre-backs in Koch, Llorente and Cooper, I think that Spurs will just about edge this one. I've gone for Tottenham 3, Leeds United 2, but yeah, I've gone for a 5-goal thriller, and I think it will be a marginal Spurs win. Now on to Crystal Palace versus Sheffield United at Selhurst Park. Now Sheffield United have gone into the new year with just 2 points to their name, but I do think this is a game that they could potentially win, but overall I'm not going to predict them to win this game, simply because I don't trust them anymore. I'm not going to lie, I've predicted them to win a lot of games this season so far, and they haven't done the business. Palace though themselves are due a bit of a win here. They haven't won in their last 5 games, and they do still have a lot of attacking talent like the likes of Wilfred Zaha and Eberici Eze, and overall I'm not sure if Sheffield United can outwork this Crystal Palace team in terms of course that work rate, because that is one of the main assets that Sheffield United do rely on, and yeah, Palace of course are very good at that as well, and that is why I think that Palace will win this relatively comfortably. I've gone for Crystal Palace 2, Sheffield United 0. Now on to the game at the Amex, Brighton and Hove Albion versus Wolverhampton Wanderers, between two teams that are very sort of similar in terms of the fact that they don't really concede a lot, but they also don't score a lot either, and they really are missing a clinical edge in their attack. Things are really going from bad to worse for Brighton this season. They've only won 2 of their first 16 games in the Premier League. They really do need a striker to be putting away those chances, because as I said in my last video, they do have a very, very good expected goals. They just need a striker to be able to put those chances into the back of the net for them. Wolves now really starting to feel the effects of Raul Jimenez's absence, because of course they haven't really scored as much goals as they used to, and they're heavily now relying on the likes of Fabio Silva, who's inexperienced, and Podence and Neto, who aren't like, you know, natural finishers for goals. And yeah, as I said, two teams that do tend to create quite a bit of chances, but just have no one really to finish them off, and that is why I think it'll be a very low scoring game. I do think Wolves will just about nick this one. I've gone for Brighton 0, Wolves 1, but yeah, I do think that, you know, it's two very similar sides in terms of how they're getting on at the moment. Now on to West Bromwich Albion versus Arsenal, Sam Allardyce versus Mikel Arteta at the Hawthorns. Now West Brom absolutely ripped to pieces by Leeds during the week at the Hawthorns, 5-0 as I said earlier on in the video. There is a bit of light for them though, because they have done relatively well against the so-called bigger sides. I mean, they took a point from Man City at the Etihad, and also last weekend against Liverpool at Anfield. Arsenal on the other hand, you could say back to winning ways after, you know, wins against Chelsea and Brighton Brighton respectively, but I'm going to be perfectly honest, I don't really think they've been too good in those games. I mean, don't get me wrong, they've showed a lot more fight, a lot more spirit, and a lot more trust in the young guns who are doing the business for them recently, but they haven't been that convincing, I'm not going to lie, and they haven't really, you know, blown people away with their performances in the last 2 games, and I'm not going to lie, this is just one that I think could really go either way, and you know what, I'm actually going to go for the upset here. I'm going to go for the ultimate upset. I've gone for West Bromwich Albion 2, Arsenal 1. Now, of course, I could be extremely wrong here, but Sam Allardyce does tend to have a very good record against Arsenal, and I think this will be another one of those games that West Brom just managed to pull out of the bag against the so-called top side, as I said, and I've gone for a marginal West Brom win. Now on to Turf Moor, Burnley versus Fulham, an absolutely pure and utter 6-pointer in terms of the relegation battle. It's 2 teams that, you know, are very much in the thick of the relegation battle so far. I do think Fulham need this 3 points more because Burnley have kind of lifted themselves up the table a bit. They are starting to distance themselves from the relegation places, however they are missing Charlie Taylor, who did pick up a knock during the week in that game, and of course Dwight McNeil now is a 50-50 as well, so he might not be able to play either, which is a massive blow for them. Fulham's game though against Tottenham during the week was cancelled, which means that obviously they will have a fitness advantage over Burnley, and I think that will be massive in this game. I think that Fulham will just about edge this one. I've gone for Burnley 1, Fulham 2, and mainly because as well, first of all, the fitness advantage, and obviously I think that Fulham play a lot better brand of football than Burnley as well, and I think have a lot more quality in their ranks as well, so yeah, a marginal Fulham winning this one. Now on to St James's Park, Newcastle United versus Leicester City. Now of course Newcastle got themselves a massive point against Liverpool at St James's Park during the week, and I thought they were actually very, very impressive, both defensively and offensively at times as well. But overall, will they be able to manage that against Leicester? Will Steve Bruce continue with that style of play that did get them that point against Liverpool? Will Newcastle return to damage limitation football once again? I think so, and I think that Leicester will just, you know, take them apart at St James's Park. I'm not going to lie. Leicester are a very, very strong team, and I think they will bring this Newcastle team straight back down to earth this weekend, and that is why I've gone for Newcastle 0, Leicester City 3, but yeah, Leicester just mean business right now, and I think they will bring Newcastle back down to earth, but yeah, I could be wrong, who knows. Now on to the game of the weekend on paper, Chelsea versus Manchester City. Of course, I am a Chelsea supporter, and we're not doing too well at this moment in time, but at the other hand as well, I have been very vocal about City this season and how, you know, poor they've been in terms of their clinical edge at the other end of the pitch. There was doubts over this game because of the fact that City's game against Everton during the week, as we said, got cancelled, so obviously City will have a bit of a boost in that game, but yeah, the game does go ahead, and it is massive. It's all about taking initiative in this one, if I'm being perfectly honest, because with the last 2 results that Liverpool have got in the draws against West Brom and Newcastle, the title race does look very much up for grabs, especially for a team like City, who I think will be favourites going into this one. And yeah, I'm not going to lie, if we lose this game, we're in massive, massive trouble, and so obviously is Frank Lampard in doing so, but yeah, I think we will see a little bit of fight from this Chelsea team, and I do think it will be a draw. I think it'll be Chelsea 1, Manchester City 1, but yeah, overall should be a very, very tight game. Now on to the game at St Mary's, Southampton versus Liverpool, 2 teams that are, you know, predominantly known for their pressing sides, and I'm not going to lie, probably the 2 best teams in the league in terms of their pressing ability. One massive, massive pro for Southampton, they do have their former Liverpool man Danny Ings back from injury, and that is absolutely huge, and I think that he will be licking his lips up against Nat Phillips, who was really, really poor, I think, against Newcastle during the week, I must say. They are missing Yannick Vestergaard though, who has been an absolute brick wall next to Jan Bednarek in that Southampton back 4, so obviously a massive miss for them. Liverpool may be going through their blip right now because, of course, as I mentioned there, they just drew at West Brom and drew at Newcastle as well, so they will be looking to put things right against a very, very strong Southampton team, and I think it would be, you know, a very big statement if they could do that away from home. And I'm not going to lie, I can genuinely see a Southampton upset here in terms of them actually winning the game, but overall I think that Liverpool will be desperate to not lose this game, and then that is why I've gone for a draw. I've gone for Southampton 2, Liverpool 2, but yeah, overall should be a very good game between 2 very strong teams. And so those are my Premier League Game Week 17 predictions. If you want to go and, you know, leave your predictions down in the comment section below, feel free to do so, because I'm quite interested to see how you guys think these games will actually go. And yeah, I do very much hope that you had a very good new year. I wish you all the best of luck in the new year, and yeah, if you could subscribe to the channel, that'd be very much appreciated. We are looking to hit 1,200 subscribers, as I said at the start of this video. Also, if you could leave a like on the video, 15 likes as per usual would be massively appreciated by myself. I'll see you guys in my next video. See ya.